Hello, welcome back everybody. This is part two of our lecture video on designing instructional materials. This is for CLM5034. Thank you for your patience. So just a little bit of a recap. We talked about what is it that we need to know in terms of university teaching, what is expected, what kind of literacies do students need to have, and what are those expectations, so that we are able to gauge the kind of things that we will use as our design principles, yeah, when we start looking at instructional materials. So I want to start with this slide first, which is on how people become good at things. So one of the ways that we can become good at something is we practice. It's drill and practice. Yeah, the more we practice on something, the better we'll be in terms of mastering a certain content and also the skills that we want to learn. Next is to learn from mistakes. So we need to recognize the mistakes. We need to do something about the mistakes. Then we'll be able to make better, yeah, in terms of our practice, because then we are addressing our weakness, and when we address our weakness, we're able to do better in terms of our strengths in within that content. The next is about experimenting. So the space to experiment is very important. The opportunity to experiment is very important. So as teachers, as instructors, we need to inbuild this, yeah, into the way that we teach, because if there's no practice, there's nothing to be learned really. Yeah, we won't be able to test to see how much we know about something. And the next bit is about trial and error. Having the opportunity to make mistakes, to have sort of like a sandbox, yeah, of a space where you can actually try out things, and you can do whatever that you like, and to see how it forms, yeah, and to be able to have that space where you can attempt on things, and we'll be able to see it's just a draft. So the that kind of opportunity, yeah, needs to be provided, that within the courses that we have, so that the students don't feel that they are required to come up with like the best version of their work immediately when they are doing their work. Yeah, so the trial and error process is quite interesting, because it helps students build their confidence. Repetition, yeah, the more we repeat, this is again related to practice. Yeah, the more we repeat things, the more we will remember. And when we remember, things that we are learning become automatic. Yeah. Experience. The building of experience is very important when we're learning something, because when we build the experience, we commit it to our memory. So the more we remember something, the better we will be in terms of using the memory. And the seventh, and then I think the most obvious one, yeah, is having a goal. Yeah. So it's no point to to teach and teach and teach, and without having any space, yeah, providing any space at all for the students to try out what they think about it, what they can do while they are learning something. So that space has got to be provided, yeah, in the way that we teach. It could be just the time that you put in within the class itself, where you stop and you ask, what kind of questions you have right now, or do you have any concerns that you have right now. So there are many ways for you to get that reaction from the students. It could be orally, that means you wait, you call them then perhaps, and you wait for them to ask you questions, or you can ask them to write in small notes. Some students feel it's a safer sort of way to connect with the instructors. I used to teach a big class of 150, and I remember they filled up like the whole hall. And it was really difficult to see, especially the students who are sitting like way behind. And normally the last row in the lecture hall is always students, boys, yeah, and they always like to sit together. So for a few years, I remember that I used to have like a second handphone. Like I bought a cheap handset, and I just use it for SMS. At the time we didn't have WhatsApp. So what I did was I asked the students to send SMS to me during the class. So I would get these questions and I would address it in the classroom, so the students don't feel that they have to put up their hands and to to get your attention. Sometimes you can't because it's just too many people in the classroom. But it was a way to sort of do that. So I think now it is already a norm that we form WhatsApp groups or Telegram groups with students. You can actually use that in class. So utilize it in a way that you get them to send you the questions during the classroom itself. Now WhatsApp and Telegram actually has a polling a tool. You can prepare the polls ahead of time, yeah, and you can schedule it to happen during the session. The other part about learning is also about tapping to the emotions. Yeah, when people tend to get motivated when they feel that they are included, yeah, in the experience, in the learning experience. So one of the things that will become useful is feedback. Yeah, when people get feedback, they are normally would be um, receptive. Sometimes it may not be positive feedback. It could be feedback which is constructive, and as learners, normally this would be the things that would allow them to know which ones are the areas that they would need to improve in order to be able to do better, yeah, in their studies. The other one is on other people's reactions. So that's why the climate of the classroom is very important, because when the students feel that it is positive, they will want to participate much better, yeah, in the classroom. And praises and compliments, yeah, it goes without saying. When we have more of this, the students feel that they are appreciated, and quite more often than not, yeah, they will become much more invested in the teaching itself, in the learning journey itself. And this is something that we can also encourage in our classrooms, where we get the peers to come and ask for help, from their own friends. So because when this happens, what the reaction that students would get is that they feel that they are appreciated, yeah, they feel that they are acknowledged for what they know, yeah, and that's why people are asking for their help and all that. The next point is about witnessing the effect on other people, meaning that after they've done something, then they will be able to see like how other people are translating what they have done. So that effect is actually quite motivating as well. So allow that to happen, yeah, in your courses if you can, if it's suitable to the topics and the nature of the course that you're teaching. um, I normally would take my own students to the ground. Yeah, I would get them to meet with people in the communities, and ask them to use whatever that we're learning in the classroom with the communities of choice. So in that sense, the students have a first-hand experience of how the knowledge that they're learning and they're practicing, yeah, in the classroom will be able to be used by other people outside of the university. And obviously seeing results, yeah, seeing results here also mean that it's not just the impact, the societal impact, but also like getting their work published. Encourage your students to write well, and to constantly improve the way that they write, and you can publish their work as well. And you can get them to talk about their work, for instance, and then seeing all this reactions from other people. Those are some things that actually would motivate students to move further, yeah. The next part is I want to talk about when does learning actually go wrong. Yeah, we need to also be aware of this, because sometimes it does make an impression about on the pace, and also the investment that the students would make, yeah, in our classes. So number one, when they don't have enough practice, yeah, when they don't have enough practice, they tend to tune out. So when they tune out, perhaps they would not want to be able what do you call it, to have conversations, to have interactions with their friends. I think this we see this a lot during the pandemic, yeah, when the students are mainly studying online. They don't have the chance to really connect with other people. Yeah, they can talk, but really, the connection is not there. Yeah, it's not physical. um, not working hard enough, yeah, and not receiving feedback, or getting poor feedback, yeah. This is where learning can take a turn, yeah. It's not going to be something which is motivating for the students, and when they lose the motivation, they lose the interest, they will just like, you know um, distance themselves from the learning journey. They will be there, but they're not going to be there in spirit, yeah. Poor communication, making others, make others make the student feel small, for instance, or nobody explain, lack of description or lack of elaboration, yeah, of the things that they're learning. These are also factors that would demotivate students, yeah, to learn further. I didn't want to learn it anyway. This is usually from students who, came in the first place. They're just disinterested. They don't see the point, and when we do not tackle this issue from the very beginning, what's going to happen is, it's just going to continue on, and chances are the students are actually going to finish the course without actually learning anything. um, I don't see the point. We see this sometimes in the class where students will come up and say, what is the use of us actually using, going through this. There's no point for us to go through this anyhow. So why are you making us do this, and blah blah blah. I couldn't get my head around it. This is again, normally it comes from a person who's demotivated anyway, or disinterested. They dislike the subject, for instance. And having a classroom where the environment is not really inviting, or the environment doesn't um, provide for opportunities to, to try new ideas and all. So it becomes a reason to just shut down, and not to participate in the class. I just don't understand it. I couldn't make sense of it. And these are some of the things yang obviously is going to be, a detrimental um, factor, yeah, for the students to participate in the classroom. The points that I've marked with a tick, if you can notice: not enough practice, not receiving poor feedback, no one explained, and poor teaching. These four things are actually in our hands. These are factors that we can do something about, because as instructors, we should be aware that these are the things that we can control. Yeah, these are the things that we can provide in the class. We can curate it in the way that it is suitable for the students, and so that the students will be able to understand it properly, and that they will be able to what do you call it, invest their time, their motivation, yeah, into the lesson itself. So I am going to continue in the next video. So I'm going to stop here first, and please come back and join me again on the third video. Yeah, thank you. See you soon.